Hello and welcome to the second video about my diorama depicting a Spinosaurus that has found something tasty and is not about to give it up. This video is all about how I painted the Spinosaurus. I have to confess I first wanted to paint the model to look like a modern-day Komodo dragon. To do that I started out spraying some different browns and greens on him with the idea that a lot of dark washes would then darken him up. But after a couple of nights it just wasn't looking very promising, so I went back to a more traditional dino scheme. I first went over his belly and lower areas with a mix of Tamiya white, Tamiya buff, and Tamiya yellow. Next I started to green up his upper areas with a mix of Tamiya olive drab and Tamiya buff. I followed that by going over his legs and arms. Do dinosaurs have arms? With straight Tamiya olive drab. Lastly, I added a pattern to his sail using Tamiya black green. I added a little black to the mix and added some stripes to his tail to make him a little more interesting. The final touch was to add some spots and subtle stripes to his back, and that was about it for the airbrush work. By the way, it's important to make the areas around the eyes dark when you're painting something you want to look scary. Look at every zombie or scary thing on TV or the movies, and the eyes will always be darkened. Ooh, so scary. The next step was to add some washes to make all those nice scales pop out, and a good gloss coat helps washes flow better into the recesses. I sprayed him with Tamiya's gloss coat right out of the can, and once that was dry I used MIG Ammo's Starship Sludge for the light areas like his belly, under his arms, basically any place there was beige paint. For the upper dark areas I used MIG Ammo Dust, especially concentrating on his feet and legs, where he's liable to be more dirty. The result adds depth to the paint finish. For the mouth I used Vallejo Beige Rose, lightened with white. That mix was then darkened up again for the tongue. Finally, the teeth were painted in a buff color, and some red, brown, and pink washes brought a little more realism to the mouth. Lastly, his eyes were painted in a lime green color. And finally, here are some images of the Spinosaurus, now fully painted. When I came up with the idea for a scene featuring dinosaurs fighting over something dead, I had to find a model of a dead prehistoric creature. Online I found images of this dead Tylosaurus, basically a prehistoric murder dolphin, that looked like it had washed up on a beach, and it looked perfect for my project. Problem was, I couldn't find where to buy the model. This led me into the somewhat mysterious world, at least to me, of 3D files that you buy, download, and either print yourself or pay someone to print for you. I ended up throwing caution, and $7, to the wind and buying the file from a website called My Mini Factory, which seems to have 1 million downloadable files for virtually anything. I then had to download a free piece of software to scale the file so the creature would be about 6 inches long. That file, and about $23, was then sent to the good folks at Xometry, or Xometry, who in a few short days sent me back this. With little chunks missing from its sides and kind of dead and limp looking, it was perfect for my scene, and all I had to do was paint it. So I based its color scheme loosely on this, a goose-beaked whale. After a coat of Tamiya surface primer, I sprayed it with various grays, gave it some spots and scratches, and then painted some guts in the holes in its sides. It was ready to be the literal meat in this Jurassic sandwich. See what I did there? The final actors in the play are the two saltwater crocodiles, one from the Tamiya Mesozoic Creature set and the other a cheap 3D print I bought off of eBay. They were painted beige and given black spots just like the real things, which by the way might be the most scarifying creatures around today. You don't want to meet one without a cage, or a gun, or a cage with a gun. Okay, I'll stop. So at this point I've got my dinos all painted and now I need somewhere to put them. In part 1 I started the base. If I haven't bored you to tears yet and you watch part 3, you'll see how I constructed their sweet waterfront home. I hope you'll check it out. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.